Can I share too much with you guys real quick? Yeah, just forewarning, man. I'm gonna make it real uncomfortable. That's what I do. That's what I do, bro. I can't talk to anybody about this because it'd be like, what the fuck? So I talk to everybody about it. Dude, in porn, man. Since we're on the topic of porn, since I've become a porn, I guess, consultant expert at this point, porn philosopher. Has anybody ever philosophized on porn? I might try to make waves in that. But since we're on the topic of porn, I don't know how it happened. Happened over many years, but at a certain point, I don't remember at what point, I started to get fascinated with really attractive women. The most attractive women that I can find in porn. And them just getting double teamed or just tagged or gang banged or whatever, I guess it's the correct term, by really ugly black dudes. I don't know how this happened to me, bro. But I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it, bro. I'm not proud of it. I hate it. I hate it about myself, but I find it fascinating. I'm sitting here watching. I always watch these porns, man. And I'm just like, how did you get girl? How did you fall this far? How do you do this? And like you're really enjoying it, but these dudes are so ugly. They're so ugly. And they're just, I have this idea in my mind that they're just, they're black and they're just niggas. And they're just like, they're just ghetto. Like, they're just ghetto. You just got them off the street. And it's like you just pulled them out of some fucking homeless shelter. And it's just fascinating to me because it's like you're seeing like a Sydney Sweeney type or like a Kate Middleton type. Or like who's the most classy woman that you can think of, right? And super attractive. Just think of who that is, man. And she just, she's like, she just wants to just get degraded, and she enjoys it. She just enjoys being degraded and just like all her holes being used by just dudes that you got out of a soup kitchen. Just dudes that don't have teeth and like barely know how to speak. They can't read. And it's just, she wants to, and there's just like this, it's this dynamic where it's like the Beauty and the Beast type thing. There's something in the Beauty and the Beast, bro. I think I got it. I think I've struck genius. You ready? Because there is an element of women today in modern day, their thing is not porn. Their thing is the books. What do you call it? It's not snuff, is it? It's just the books that are basically pornography. And all these books, women read these things voraciously. They are like, they'll be reading these things right next to you in the supermarket, right on the subway. They're just, they're basically looking at porn next to you on the subway. At least we don't do that. At least we have some class. At least we wait till we get home, or we're in the public bathroom or something. Or in the private cubicle for some of you freaks. But they read this stuff, and it's full of like the fantasy is like these dudes are like half beast, half person. They're not even fully human beings, bro. They're starting to become beasts. This is a thing. This is a thing. Okay? And the fantasy, right? I think we can find a lot of truth in our fantasies, in the things that get us really going. Oh, God. Oh. I think that that's not just like, oh, shame, 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 the walk of shame, shame. Are you shamed about your shame? Yes. Shame for your shame. You know what I mean? It's not just, we don't just shame it away. We look at it. What is this telling us? What is your fantasy telling you? Because I think the fantasy, the sexual fantasy, the thing that you don't want anybody to know that turns you on, or the thing that you do in private, the sexual fantasy tells you something about yourself. That is a part of you. It is a part of you, and you have to acknowledge it. This is for women as much as it is for men. You have to acknowledge, what is this fantasy trying to tell you about yourself? What is it trying to communicate to you? I think what these fantasies are, the reason I like seeing just like beautiful, classy, shy women just getting absolutely destroyed by just the hoodest of hood rats. And she's just loving every second of it. Dude, I love that. Say what you want. But the reason that I gravitate towards that, and the reason that women are gravitating now heavily towards these books where it's like beasts are taking them in, I think, this is what I think, that this is a symptom, or it is a product of the current state of society, and how we are losing these elements of ourselves. These fantasies are trying to show us something, a truth about ourselves that we are not embodying in the real world. We are not incorporating into our psyches. We are not admitting that we are these people. Women are not admitting that they want to turn off their agency and just basically be dominated by a dude who's super dominant, knows what he wants, selfish. A dude who's selfish, knows what he wants, but also in some sort of way can treat her right. But she, can, I think women, they fail to acknowledge that what they get most pleasure out of is absolute submission to a man who they want to submit to, and who they gladly will just turn their brains off, just go unconscious with him. Okay? Daddy's taking care of everything. Use me how you want in the bedroom. Tell me what to do outside of the bedroom. But also like in a way that shows it's not abusive, right? It's not abusive. It shows respect. It shows that you, I don't know, that you're selfish, but you have some care. I don't know. There's a balance there. And my fantasy, I think, is showing me that this is a part of you that you have not acted out in the real world. You want to be this. It's like it's showing me that women are. It's like they want that. Like women are really deeply attracted to just like brutes, just like dominating them, right? And then I'm thinking like, why is that? What do they want? What do they want? Am I that? I need to be this. How do I be this in the real world? I need to be this man in the real world. I need to because the fantasies are always more extreme because they are in the imagination. They are something that you can't actually act out. So that's why women are imagining like half beasts, half man in their, that's their fantasy that they're reading, because it's a fantasy. It's not actually, they're not actually getting that in the real world. In the real world, it would be I think it would be a watered down version of that, but it would still be the same sort of archetype or dynamic that they're looking for, a dominant dude that's just like selfish, and he's, he's about himself, but he somehow, she can be submissive and all this stuff. But and it's not abusive in any way. Okay. This is what women actually, it gets them really turned on, right? And then mine's super extreme because I'm not being the guy out there in the world that's being this dominant sort of selfish person, that wants women, that has to admit to himself that he only wants women for sex and reproduction first and foremost. That's what I need. I need sex. I need your respect. I need your submission, and procreation maybe somewhere down the line. That's what I need. That's what comes first. I don't look for what's beyond that. I'm superficial, I'm shallow, call me what you will. I'm an animal. I am an animal, bro. I think like an animal and I want things like an animal. And I acknowledge this part of myself. I'm not higher than, I'm not holier than, at least not yet. At least not yet. Maybe someday. Maybe. But I'm not going to act like that right now because I'm not that person. I'm still very much lustfully driven. I'm still very much like, I want to, it's like I need to enact these sort of, what I'm turned on by in porn, I need to enact that in real life. I need to somehow become that in real life. I think that's what it's showing me, is like, you're going to continue to look at this stuff. You're going to continue to be fascinated and captivated by this stuff until you actually start to embody this dynamic, become these guys in real life. Now, hopefully, I don't put a grill in and start wearing Timberlands and fucking sagging and, just speaking in fucking, what do they call it? Ebonics? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go fucking MGK or Eminem, but I need to embody their sort of just like raw, like selfish, just sort of bleh, shit. You need to acknowledge that this is a part of you that you've suppressed, been ashamed of for so long. The more you are ashamed and suppressed and stuff like this, it doesn't go away. It never goes away. It's just something that you always struggle with, and you never actually get over it because you never actually do it in real life. You're never actually this person in real life. Become the become the ghetto boy. Become the dudes. Become the dudes in the porn that are just, it's crazy what these women are doing. Like, dude, I can't even get it out of my mind. You don't understand how much just like seeing a white, beautiful girl with like all these like black dicks in her. It's just like, how are you doing? How are you doing this? How do you love this? Like, I'm disgusted. Also, really, really gets me going. Really gets me going. I'm just like fascinated. Disgusted, fascinated, captivated. It's just like, there's something in that, man. There's something in that. This is there is a divinity in this. For all its vileness and depravity and baseness and banal nature. I mean, it is divine. There is divine. You can't. I won't hear it. I won't hear anything. There is something divine in our darkness and our baseness, in the depths of us. That is us. That is us. Always will be. We are animals. We should never forget where we came from and who we are, what we are. We are animals. We think like animals. Yes, maybe we have a higher nature, but we're not just the higher nature. We're not just that. We are both. We are light and we are dark. How do you know what's light without the dark? How do you know it's dark without the light? Anyway, I rest my case. Did I make it uncomfortable enough? That's it. That's the video.